longer Turk's head than the one we tied to make a poppy. The principle's the same, but we have to wrap the cord once around our tube when going from one side to the other. Tying the knot is the easiest bit. You'll need a lot of time to tighten things up and mould it into shape. Okay, let's see how it's done. I've got my foam tube with a piece of paper wrapped around it. I have 3 pins at the top and 3 pins at the bottom, with approximately 4 inches between the top set of pins and the bottom set. Pins at each end are evenly spaced. These can be done by eye, as they'll be removed at the end anyway. Pins at each end are numbered 1 to 3, and bottom pin numbers are directly underneath the top ones. As you'll find, the knot is very open when tied around the tube, which is why extra time is required to tighten things up. I'll actually slide the knot off the tube onto a cylinder with a smaller diameter once I've got the basic knot tied. I'm using 3 meters of paracord, and I'll pin one end to top pin 1, leaving 2 or 3 inches protruding beyond the pin. I've attached a lacing needle to the other end, the end I'll be tying the knot with. A lacing needle definitely helps, especially when tightening things up, and it makes it easier to thread the cord when tying. It's quite a long piece of cord that I'm starting with, so periodically I'll need to get rid of any twist that occurs. This happens when tying a knot round an object. You get used to doing it. I'll take my cord from top pin 1 to bottom pin 1, but I need to go once around the tube first. From bottom pin 1 I'll go to top pin 2, but I need to go over 1 and under 1 to get there. It's a little easier now that I've tied 2 passes, because the cord already wrapped will help me see the right track to take. From top pin 2 to bottom pin 2, going over 1 and under 1 to get there. From bottom pin 2 to top pin 3, I'll go under 1, over 2 and under 1 to get there. From top pin 3 to bottom pin 3, go under 1, over 2 and under 1 to get there. From bottom pin 3 to top pin 1, take some of that twist out first that I was telling you about earlier. It's quite easy to do, just be patient. So we're going from bottom pin 3 to top pin 1, and we've got to go over 1, under 1, over 1, under 1, over 1 and under 1. And that will take me back to the beginning, back to pin 1 at the top where we started. And now back at the beginning so I can start doubling things up. I'm actually using an extra pin to secure everything around top pin 1. When doubling up, it's very important to keep the cord that I'm wrapping to just one side of the cord I'm following. I need to keep things flat and even. Before following round, now's a good time to check that I've tied the first pass correctly. Using a finger, I follow the first pass around from pin 1. Crossings should alternate between over and under, and there should be nowhere that the cord goes over to or under to. Where the cord in my first pass goes under something, I need to follow that by also going under. Likewise, when the first pass went over, the second pass will also go over. As I said earlier, tightening up takes a while, but so does following the cord around for the second time, or the second pass as it's called. I won't show all the video of me following the cord around. I'm sure you've got the idea. Now followed the cord around the tube twice, or I've completed 2 passes. Now I'll remove the pins and slide my knots off the tube onto a broom handle where I want to use it for decoration. As you can see, this knot is very loose on the broom handle, so it's going to need a lot of patient tightening up. Notice I say patient tightening up. Now is not the time to rush and mess things up. Getting our Turk's head snug on the broom handle is going to take time, and I'll tighten up a little at a time, making sure that the construction of the knot isn't compromised. This does take a while. I'll discuss at the end how we might make things a little tighter to begin with, but for now I'm just going to tighten this up. Now that's much tighter, so I think it's time for a third pass. Trying to do a third pass before tightening up would have been a nightmare, but now I'm much more confident. Same rules apply as for the second pass. Follow the cord from the second pass, keeping the cord at the same side all the time and following the same unders and overs. Okay, I've now done 3 passes. and I think that's sufficient. I need to do something with the ends though. Well, the end with the lacing needle I'm going to take right through the knot, underneath everything, until it comes out at the bottom. This can be quite tricky, so I had to make sure that the knot wasn't super tight before doing this. Tighten things up a bit more because the next bit's a bit easier. The other end I'll pass under the top section so that it pokes out at the top. Apart from the ends now sticking out, I should only be able to see 3 wraps of cord anywhere on my Turk's head. That's looking pretty good now. I might tighten it up a little bit more, but I'll snip the ends off as close as I can and just push them back underneath the knot so that they can't be seen. There's my finished knot. Quite happy with that. There was an awful lot of tightening up there, wasn't there? I transferred my knot from my foam tube onto a broom handle and tightened it there. Could I have approached this differently and cut down the amount of tightening up? Well, a couple of thoughts. I could wrap some cardboard around my broom handle to start with and put the pins in that before tying the knot around the broom handle. When I'd done 1 or 2 passes, I could remove the pins and cardboard and then tighten up. At least my knot wouldn't be quite as loose on the broom handle, meaning there would be less tightening up to do. Instead of pins, I could use rubber bands at the top and bottom of the knot to hold the bights at either end in place on the broom handle. I would have to cut the bands to remove them though. Have a look at your workshop documents. You may need to go through the video once or twice as well, but I hope you enjoyed that. See you soon. Thanks for watching.